It's like pieces of a puzzle that are being put together for us. And there's so many layers of history.
Camera. This is a great. I'm going home to buy this camera.
Whose camera is that?
That's Debbie. She wanted me to see if I can use it. Boker Tov, Phyllis.
Boker or Rachel.
Oh, you learned at Boker or.
I'm your mother, Boker or.
I know, you are so good. Boker Tov, Lauren. Boker or.
English or Hebrew.
It's too early in the morning. She hasn't had her coffee.
This is an amazing camera. I love it. Marcy. Hello, Marcy. Boker Tov. Okay.
And the knob only turns in one direction.
Oh, and hard. You have
Yes, yeah, and it only turns in one direction. It's stable.
Where are you from and where you teach?
I'm Wendy Roizen from Salem, Mass. I teach at Beth Shalom. I teach 4th grade, but over the last 15 years I've taught anything from 2nd grade to high school students. What has this trip meant to me? It's meant that I can really teach about Israel from personal experience. It becomes more of teaching from the heart instead of just textbook knowledge or reading from books. This is the experience of being on Masada instead of just reading about it. It's going to the Dead Sea and floating in it and describing for kids the way it feels, and walking around Jerusalem, being at the wall and touching it and feeling God's presence there. And we can talk to kids all we want about God being everywhere, but there are some unique special places in the world, and this is certainly one of them. And when we experience it, we can convey that knowledge in a very different way and on a very different level than just preparing a curriculum from books that we read. Any of us can read it, put together a very effective outline for a lesson plan, but when we're able to add, and kids, when you see the wall and you walk toward it for the first time and you get a sense of the magnitude, yeah, it wasn't one of the temple walls, but it was part of the foundation. But just at the top of that wall, just beyond that wall, was the Holy of Holies. And to be able to describe that to the kids, show our pictures, talk to them about it, that's different, and that's really special.
Hi, I'm Judy Eidelman. I teach Hebrew at Temple Emmanuel in Marblehead, but I teach 6th graders, mostly Siddur, chanting, tefillot. But what I also do is I train the bar mitzvah students, bar and bat mitzvah students at Temple Emmanuel. And from this experience to here, this week in Israel, whenever there's a reference in all of their portions are from some parts of the Bible that I could personally relate to, I certainly want to bring in my own experiences here relating to Abraham, to Masada, to all of those places, wherever it is applicable. But one of the things I would take away from this trip is I think the idea is every family should set aside money on their own to send one grandchild or one child to Israel at some point. If they don't go to Y2I, they would do it. A family tradition should be set up amongst Jewish families to send at least one child to Israel. And as a result of this, you realize that there are so many adults who have never been to Israel. So starting with those kids, that's my recommendation. My other recommendation is every time you're looking out, from wherever you are, pick an excerpt from the Bible and read it with the group and select those before the trip, so that people can be sitting and looking out on the holy places and say this and read and have them read from the Bible where it all comes from. And I saw a Christian group doing that right here, and they were so spiritually involved because they were all reading from the text. That's my recommendation.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Lockcliffe. I live in Peabody, Massachusetts, and I teach preschool at the JCC in Peabody. First, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity for being here. I've been here many times before, but never with an organized trip. and I realized that I always thought Israel was just here, but on this trip I've learned that we need to work to keep Israel here. I don't think I'll take it for granted like I did before. And I think I can bring back to my classroom, even though they're just preschoolers, I'm trying to bring back that Israel is real and it's alive and it's fun and it's wonderful. And again, thank you for the opportunity.
That you got this 20 years ago, and this is his first trip to Israel.
Hi, this is Kermit. Kermit's come to Israel with me to hopefully put a book together to show the kids what life is like in Israel. He's been to the beach, he's been to the kosher McDonald's, he's been to Masada, he's been everywhere, and he's had a great time. Thank you.
I'm in the preschool. What I feel about being here, there's so much you feel, and it's like so. It's not stuff you put into words. It's not stuff you explain to others. It's stuff you have to see on your own to really get to where it's in your soul. And I know I said to you the other day, I understand now why you need to marry Jewish and why you need to bring your children up Jewish and why you need to give them that same deepness in their soul to be Jewish and feel Jewish, especially after being in a place like this. To walk downstairs in a hotel and see somebody davening at a window, wrapping tefillin in the morning, or to see a sign that says synagogue, is something you don't see in the States. It's something you see everywhere here. It's almost like, it's that being the majority, finally, after 50 years, and not a minority anymore. I don't know what else to say, because I don't think you can put all of this into words. I think you really have to come and see it to understand it. And I really give Bob Lappin a lot of praise, because he seems to understand that you put this into your children, and I think it stays with your children, because it's really stuck with me.
And I teach pre-confirmation, actually pre-confirmation or classes at Temple Emmanuel. And the trip to Israel was a blessing for me. I have been to Israel before, but not within the last 10 years. But this trip in every way renewed my passion and my love and my appreciation for the land of Israel, and inspired me to find the appropriate ways to make my students feel the same way. So many things came into perspective for me. The difference between a hero and a legend in Israel. The passion and the love of the country by the Israelis who were our guides and who talked to us and who shared their emotions about their country. And the fact that the Israelis believe that they are giving their lives for us and asking us to support them in any way we can, especially emotionally, and to look at Israel as a peaceful nation, as a humanitarian, peaceful nation, not how they are presented in the media. It will make me much more aware of how I interpret and how my students interpret what they see on the media and in the media and what they see and read. So I'm in awe. I'm really thankful, very appreciative, and I have so much to bring back and share that my most difficult thing will be prioritizing what I have to make it meaningful.
Beverly Shapiro. My students call me Ganessa. I teach at Congregation Abbas Achim in Newburyport. I teach pre-gan to adults. This is my 12th year of teaching and my first trip to Israel. I cannot express how wonderful it has been. I will bring so much richness back to my kids. they hopefully will be able to make their own trip here and very soon. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Phyllis Osher. I'm the director of Congregation Ahavas Achim in Newburyport, Mass, and I also work at Temple Ahavat Achim in Gloucester. And first and foremost, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime. This trip has meant more to me than any of you could even imagine. I have been waiting. The last time I was in Israel was 24 years ago. For the past 24 years, every day I've thought, when will I have a chance to go back to Israel? And through your generosity, I've been able to make this trip. This trip has enabled me also to enhance my teaching skills that I will bring back to the classroom. It's given me the tools to bring Israel in a new light to my students. And hopefully this will also encourage my children, my students, to bring Israel into their own lives and become themselves to see it. And it's not just the land, it's our home. It's our Jewish home. And from again, the bottom of my heart, Toda Rabah, and may Hashem bless you.
Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam. Say hi. You bow. Say hi. Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam. Salam. When are we gonna see the North? When are we gonna see the North, Debbie? We want to see the North. We want to go to the North now. Let's just not go home. Give him some. We don't need the wine. I guess not.
Judaically, humanly, it was amazing. It really, really was. And I was so glad that I could be with all of you to share it.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. Anyone else? Anne has also.
Likewise, it's hard to pick one moment or one memory or one teaching time. Everything was very passionate and emotional for me. But I think what still stands in my mind was walking through the final moments of the being's life and the way he explained it to us. My children were standing there, probably right beside you, protesting or whatever, with babies on their backs and backpacks and whatever. And I don't think they could have explained it, or they never did explain it as you did. And then walking down the steps and walking the area and walking and seeing the spots where the wildlife were, and just the whole thing, and just standing there, looking at the pictures, trying to feel what that moment was like. I know it was like to all of us in the States, but to read it and to feel it was very, very special for me. I think it was really
decision to come, and I didn't understand how you guys could just say, I'm going, and not feel any kind of fear, any kind of, well, maybe not, maybe, and all I thought was, what should I do? And Wednesday I went into Debbie's office because I asked her, I said I needed a little push. She just said, consider this a shove. I ended up, Rachel and Debbie being in the office at the same time, and I thought, oh God, what two better people to get me to go with them. And I just still, even that day, I was still feeling like, oh, I don't And Debbie said to me, you have until we walk in that plane at the airport to turn around and go back home. Just pack what you can pack and pretend you're going. And I have to say, when I was going through that door, I turned to her and said, should I really go? And I went on that plane, and of course I get on a plane and I get in a seat with a TV doesn't care. And I'm looking up at the sky saying, what are you doing? But you're really challenging me. And I look next to me and there's Beverly. And she's
Well,
the
first
first
you had to share the seat, you got moved.
No,
that was the second
you
line.
moved.
Second line, oh.
You moved. I got
Right,
lucky
the second
because she was put next to me, and we just started talking and we chatted about a little bit. I got to know about her life, she got to know about mine, and we just killed the time. And I didn't sleep 1 minute, not a minute.
You don't forget the part of the announcement of
The play, yeah.
Oh, Lauren thought it was you! They take this woman off the plane, and so Lauren peeks up from the back, thinking that it's me. Because I couldn't see it. She needed to see the top of my head. It was still there. I'm just happy I never knew about the moment they took off the plane, because I probably would have.
I was really happy it wasn't you.
But then, the next
glad they took it.
I landed in the London airport, and the next flight came, and again, I was nervous and I was fearful, and I'm 50 years old, and I thought I shouldn't feel this way. I should be able. I raised 3 children. I should be able to just get out there and do this. And I really wanted to do that because I'm 50 years old, and because for the past 23 years I've been raising children and having a marriage and a life and not going anywhere, not doing anything. And I always wanted to say that my feet hit the ground in Israel and that I touched this place, and I have, and I did it. And now I look back at that and think, what a fool I was. And
because you did it.
it was,
That's right.
what was hard for me is that, again, the 10 people I was supposed to go with never showed up. And these are people I worked with for 16 years, so it was really difficult to not have that little familiar, with me. But I'm out here, and every single one of you have taken me by the hand whenever I have needed it.
Literally. There's only one way out, Mercy, and you've got to come. Just come with me.
Every little thing you did, every little thing, I will remember. Because you were a wonderful bunch of people. And back when I was little, my parents went with people they didn't know to Israel. And they did a tour like this, and it was their Israeli group. And from the time I was little to now, they're still friends with those people. And they call them the Israeli group. And now I have my own Israeli group.
Nice.
Oh, it's going to be hard to say goodbye. I want to start with some thank yous, but first of all, I want to thank Debbie.
Oh, you're welcome.
Debbie,
I think so too.
I want to thank you for something that happened a long time ago. When you called me and said to me, do you want to teach?
I remember.
And it was for Sunday mornings at the Navy. And it was about 17 years ago.
Yep.
I said, well, you know what? I'll try. Thank you for that opportunity for me to enter a new career. And something that's been a passion for me all my life since then. And opening doors for me to do what I love to do best. Teach other people about Judaism and about Yiddishkeit and about Israel. Did I ever think then, or over the past 17 years, that I would be sitting at a table tonight with all of my friends and colleagues and sharing an experience of a lifetime? So I think we're very, very blessed to have you in our community.
That's definitely.
And to be a mentor for us, a friend, teacher. And a teacher. And caring about all of us. It's from your... Okay, listen up. Okay, now listen up. Yuval! Yuval, I want to thank you. I really do. I want to thank you because, first of all, I did learn a tremendous amount from you. And we'll start with Kedem and Kadima.
Yeah, loved it. Wrote that one down.
And that's one of your lines that I'll be using a lot in the classroom. And for taking that little deviation up to Hart's 18 the first day. When I asked him, I said, let's go to Hart's 18 at Boys to be And because I always felt that Hart's 18 had a really beautiful view of the old thing. So I just want to thank you for that. And also thanking you for my, I can be annoying at times. And you taking it with it. And
You are kindred spirits. You annoy each other.
And I want, and Ephraim, your submarines. Muli, for walking.
Hey, Muli!
I was not late already.
No, I just wrote things, but I can't really go by what I've been told to do. I want to tell you two stories and then some things from my heart. First story is a story that I tell you in Prague. I got in Prague sometimes, Eastern Europe, just in Jewish topics. And one great story is a guy named Isaac from Prague. We had a dream, kept dreaming all the time that, forget it, it was Isaac from Prague who kept having a dream every night, the same dream, that under a bridge in Prague, he would find treasure. And he had this dream once, and he just had a dream, and then he had the second time, and the third he tells his wife that he had this dream that he already had 3 times, and it continues to happen. And one day he said, okay, I had enough, I'm going to go and check what it is. And he makes the journey to Prague, and he goes for a few weeks. And he walks around during the day around the bridge. There's a very big bridge called Charles Bridge in Prague, beautiful, you should go see it. And he walks around under the bridge, he doesn't know exactly where, and a soldier that's patrolling on the bridge looks at him and says, hey, you Jew, what are you looking for? He says, nothing, and the soldier goes down and started to talk to him and says, what are you looking for? I see you walking here for hours, is something you're looking? He said, well, it might be some stupid, but I had this dream that I'll walk and I'll come to Prague, and under the bridge here I'll find a treasure, and I'm walking for 3 weeks already just to get here, and I don't know where to start looking. And the soldier starts to laugh, and he said, oh, you're stupid Jew. I also have a dream that repeats every night. And I dream that under the oven at the place in Krakow, under the oven at the house of a guy named Isaac, there's a treasure. And Isaac stops for a second, he never introduced his name or anything. He stops and says, okay, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm stupid. He realized what he had done, and he starts to walk back. And he walked back for 3 weeks, and he's under the oven in his home, and he finds this huge treasure full of coins of gold. And he takes this treasure that he found, and he builds a beautiful synagogue. That's the synagogue, the Isaac synagogue in Krakow. And the moral that I take from that story is that sometimes you need to travel somewhere very far to find what you already have. And everything that you are going to take from here back home, you already had. You never found anything new here, but you were maybe reminded. You had to be reminded, or some fire had to be lit, so you could take it back home. There's nothing new that happened here. And I think this fire have to be kept lit. You have to find your ways to do that, and if everything you do back there doesn't work, and you feel the fire is fading, then you know where the fire is. You can come back here, and you know there's a spark here. So you can always use Israel to just inspire. Honestly, I want to tell you one of my best groups. If I'm being honest, I can't tell you my best group because I can't tell you. I don't know. But you're such a happy group of people. It's the second youngest person in this group, feeling like the grandfather of all of you here. Everybody here has such a child spirit that is amazing, and I think the kids that you're working with are privileged to have that spirit. If you can keep this, and I know what's happening in the education world. Like I'm dealing with teacher. I was trained to be a teacher myself. I've seen a lot of teachers that does not have the spark. And if you don't have the spark, I don't think you should work in that profession. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And you know that as much as I know that. And you have it. I look around here. You had it from the beginning. You landed. So I don't know if I have any part of that. But it's really amazing. Maybe it's the circumstances that got this special group of people to be here this time. And I want to thank you for that time that I enjoyed it. I'm not saying that I don't need to sleep for 3 days now, but I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I'm exhausted, but it was fun. And I think it brought a lot of happiness to wherever you go. I'm not the only one who's thanking you. I think there's going to be at least one 12-year-old girl that has a beautiful memory for life. And people who had the dinner at the hotel probably remember what a nice night it was.
We sat with them at breakfast. They actually did remember.
I'm not